Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence, the 17th, and I had an opportunity to coach a client today who had the call in the copy that he was voicing for an audition. He had the call to shout, to actually say at the top of his lungs throughout the entire spot um, the language that he needed to do. And he was kind of, I guess, doing a pretend shout, because it's hard sometimes to give yourself the permission when you're doing voiceover and the words or the presentation is out of the norm, is too loud or too soft, and it's called for by the script. There is a huge difference between pretending to shout and really shouting, because when you shout, when you actually engage in that kind of sound pressure level, getting your body to give that kind of sound pressure level, it jostles things around. It throws your vocal folds into a different situation in terms of how much they're going to force air out of your mouth, and you tense your body up differently, and your mouth cavity reacts differently to that amount of sound. And it's clear when you listen to the difference between somebody actually shouting and somebody who's pretending to shout. Well, I'm going to shout at the top of my lungs. Well, that's very different from I'm going to shout at the top of my lungs, right? How things are said, how things come off. Do they come off as angry? Do they come off as excited? Do they come off as fake? That authenticity thing. So I just wanted to talk to you about this today, because when you're faced with this sort of thing, there's a technical issue you have to deal with, and that's usually you're going to overdrive your microphone if you keep it at the input level that you usually have it at. And so one thing you want to do is, wherever it limits the input to whatever's recording your voice, you want to bring that down so that you actually can give it all you've got, if that's what the script calls for. Now, sometimes the script calls for shouting, but you don't have to shout. It's not imperative. But it really does make a difference when clearly you have to get your point across to somebody that's a great distance away. For example, if you were on the other side of a wide street and you were separated from your friend who was closer to your car, and you had forgotten your keys. Now, if you went, I forgot my keys, that's one thing, maybe not the best choice. But if you really get into the situation, where are you in space and time? Who are you? What do you want? What do you need? You dropped your keys or you forgot your keys and you want your friend to get them. You'll find yourself doing a number of things with your voice that maybe you don't notice, like over-enunciation and over-stressing of certain syllables. Like, if they can't read your lips, you might over-mouth things. I need my keys. My keys, right? That's very different from, I need my keys. So give yourself the permission to be that person and make whatever technical adjustments you need to make. Maybe it's just backing off the mic, in a different direction. That may actually add to the authenticity of what you're doing. But the whole idea of being realistic when you're doing voiceover can involve a lot more than just making sure people can understand the words, making sure that the script you're following and you're following it perfectly, making sure that the storytelling is lovely. I mean, yeah, those are all things that you have to do, but sometimes you're faced with these sort of odd ducks. And shouting is one of them. Shouting is one of those things that you kind of have to give yourself the permission to be an absolute, real, flawed, awesome, imperfect human being. That's where the humanity comes out. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Is this something that resonates with you? Is this something that you've had to face before? Ever had copy where you have to shout or even whisper? Do you do a stage whisper? Or do you get right up on the mic and actually whisper? You probably don't want to. Well, you know what? We'll leave that for another video. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think in the comments below this video. Also, if you want to be on my list and find out when these videos come out, go ahead and join the list. There's a little thing that says get on my list, and I'd love to have you. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I appreciate you watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.